I'm going to show you how to make this. Okay, so to make this, this is a Native American style netted bag. Kind of similar in purpose to the Australian Aboriginal dilly bag, but this I find is quite a bit easier to make, and I just kind of like the look of it a bit better. And the other thing I like about this is if you learn how to make this, this is exactly how you would make a fishing net, or a net that you'd use to trap things. So that's why I like learning this. It's very functional. It's a great way to carry water with you, just over your shoulder. And water on this side, a knife on this side. Good to go bushwalking. Anyway, so you want 10 equal pieces. And let's actually say 11 equal pieces. So this one on my left is actually, I've spiraled this to be double the thickness. And this will actually end up acting as the shoulder strap. So it'll be functioning as this part. Anyway, we'll leave this aside for now. So you want 10 equal pieces of cord. We take our first piece of cordage, I'll place this down, and it's folded in half. Then we grab this, the center of the cordage, and we just do a little overhand knot, like so. We've got the first bit done. We folded in half, we did an overhand knot, and we have just a little loop here. So this is the first part, and then the next stage with every other piece we just do this. So again, you fold it in half, you take the center, you thread it up through the middle, so you have your own little loop here, so like that, and then you take the two ends and then you just thread them through that loop that you just made. So this is called a lark's head knot. So these are the only two knots you'll be using. You'll just be doing standard overhand knots, which is just the basic knot that everybody knows how to do, that nobody knows the name of, and these lark's head knots. We have 10 pieces, so we'll be doing this 8 more times because we've got 2 done. The way I usually think of it when I'm making this, you just go around and around like a clock, and that's how you know where you are. Second phase done, and now what you do is, you see how these are right against each other and there's a bit of a space here, so you just want to even that up a bit and also separate into your 10 strands, so you want to keep them all together. So let's say about 3 centimeters up, we want to just a standard overhand knot. So what you do is pinch where you want it, sorry, I'm holding the GoPro with my mouth, and now you've got your overhand knot and you're free to slide it back and forth where you want it. So you want it to be about here, so you just grab it and slide it downwards. Alright, so that's the first knot done, and now we want to do the same thing with all of these. So just make sure you're just keeping them in groups, and you're just going to tie each group together. Like so, 1, 2, all the way around. And a key with making this, I mean, it's not essential, but it's better to have it all very symmetrical. It'll look better and it'll end up functioning better. In other words, we made the knot here, so for each other one, we're going to sort of measure the same distance and try and do the same. So like I said, you can have them up together, pinch where you want the knot. And there you go, that's about equal. Alright, so there we go. We've got all the knots in place, and now for the next phase. With this phase, this is the most important part where we want to keep our pairs of string. Remember, this is actually one whole piece of cord, so we want to keep this, each one, just in its own little section, and don't mix them up. Because if you, for example, let's say we're going to begin tying these together, so let's say instead of tying this to this, which we need to do, we tie it to this one, well, then this one's got nothing to tie to, so then it stuffs up. So just be aware of it. You might make a mistake. If so, it's not the end of the world. If it's your first time, just undo it and give it another go. But yeah, you'll save yourself a lot of aggravation if you just really make sure you know which one of the pairs belongs to which. Start where 12 o'clock would be and work our way around clockwise, and that way we'll keep a good track of what we're doing. Symmetry is key, so like with these are all pretty symmetrical. We're going to tie our first knot here, which is going to make sort of a diamond come off the top of there. So we'll pinch it where we want the knot, try and keep these two original knots together, and we'll tie a knot up here. Alright, let's get started. So you can see every time I do it, I'm just going to measure it sort of up against this and try and get the knots in line with each other. So if we started off making a kind of giant octopus thing, now we're actually going to make a kind of flower shape. As you can see, this is like the petal, this is like where the seeds are, like imagine sunflower, and these are the leaves. Right, I'll continue. As with the previous knot, you just tie it loose, and then you can move it up and down a bit, and you've got a little bit of room to play around, so you can try and get them nice and equal. Alright, now that part's done. We have our nice pretty flower. I'm just going to take a second to just make sure these are all separate so we don't get them too mixed up. As you get better at it, the easier it'll be to keep them apart. Alright, so the same thing. Let's say we'll start here. This is going to be 12 o'clock. I'm using 10 strands for this. You can use as many as you want. I keep it an even number. It just works better. And I've often done it with 12 strands, but I actually ran out of string. So we're working 10. I've done it with as few as 6, but I find the more strands you use, the nicer the net will be, and the smaller you can make the little holes. If you So you can see how it's starting to flop upwards, and that's because now it's going to start to want to go vertical, and that's what you want. So what you can do is just pick it up and put your hand through it, and you can see it's starting to form like a shape, and it wants to contain something. But at this point, because now it's starting to become more vertical and take shape, I usually just do it sitting down. So you just, now that it's not laid out like a clock face, you've just got to be even more careful not to tie the wrong things together. So you want to do this. And just continue making diamonds. And that's another section done. And yeah, you just continue on from there. Same process all the way around, and this will get longer and longer, and once you're happy with the length, then we'll go to the next point. Okay, I think that'll do it. I'll just test it out with my bottle, just a second. Alright, well that's close enough. My favourite way to finish it off. I'll just explain it to you first, then I'll demo it. It's just I've got to hold the GoPro in my mouth. I just didn't bring my stand, and there's not many good places to put my stand anyway, so I'll just demo it. So basically you're going to reverse wrap it, and you're going to just use your two strands. So you're not going to be connecting these to any other strands at this point, so as long as you just keep your two strands together, which is easy to do because there's a knot there on each one of them, it's very easy. Just demo it slowly. And that's it. So you just take the top one, twist it away from you till it starts to become a little bit tight. Probably 2 twists will do it. Then you pinch the one that's on the bottom and then twist it around counterclockwise, and that brings it up to the top. And then you just repeat that process. So I'll do it several more times. So the only other thing is, we want all of them to be even again. Like I said, you want it symmetrical. So you need to count each time you do a twist, so you can do it the same on each one of them. All right. So as I go along, my left hand where I'm pinching is moving along with me, so I'm keeping the tension on it as I go along. All right. I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes. I think I lost count, but I counted about 12 twists. So let's just say it was 12. So now we have a nice double thickness piece of cord. It's a bit more like rope here. And now what we do to finish it off and keep all it together without unraveling is we just do another standard overhand knot here. And then we do one more overhand knot, and that creates the loop. The loop that will be used for the shoulder strap. So like this. And there we go. So just braided that together. We've done one knot, which closes that off. And then we've done another knot up here. And those two knots together, they create this little hole. So now that's done, that's going to be our loop. And we're going to repeat the same process the whole way along. So this is going to be the excess, and I'll just cut this now with my knife. Anyway, I'll repeat the whole process all the way along. Each pair stays with each other. So we're going to reverse wrap it 12 times, do an overhand knot, leave, about 2 centimeters space, and then do a second overhand knot, and then we'll cut off the excess, and that's our loop for our shoulder strap. This is all done. You can see it's nice and pretty, so instead of having two pieces, it all comes together as one, a little knot tied there, and then another one above it, and that creates a little loop. So now we're just going to add the shoulder strap, which is just the same cord as this, except I've doubled it up, so it's twice the thickness. You can see it's the same thickness as this, and that's so it doesn't dig into your skin. So now I'll just thread it through each one of these holes. So that's all threaded through, and now you just want to tie this together like this. And there we go.